Hey, what's going on guys? Sri Kanase here, and today we're going to be talking about scaling your ad sets once you find a winning ad and exactly how I scale my own ad sets to become so profitable at the end. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below because I'm providing value basically every day, and don't forget to hit that like button if you do enjoy these videos that I put out because that lets me know that I should be putting out more videos just like these ones. So let's talk about how you should be scaling your ads. Now in this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 particular strategies that you can use for scaling your ad sets once you find a good product. And this only applies to you if you have found that one winning product, because if you try to do this with a product that is not a winner, you might end up losing money. So definitely be sure that it is a winning product, and to figure out if it's a winning product, you need to wait at least 2 to 3 days before trying to scale the ad sets. And this is because that lets you know whether the product has potential, and it also feeds your pixel data. So once about 2 or 3 days and pass and you're consistently getting good sales, that's when you can start applying these scaling strategies. And if you haven't already checked out my last video on Facebook ad metrics, be sure to check that out because I go in depth on exactly the metrics that I look at before I scale my ad sets or stop those ad sets. So as I mentioned, there are 3 scaling strategies that I use, and not every single one will work with your product or the niche that you're in. So you definitely need to test out these different strategies and see what works for you. But the first and main one that I use is vertical scaling. So what is vertical scaling? It's exactly like the name says it is. Vertical scaling is basically going up in a straight line. So let's say you have a winning ad set or ad sets. What you want to do is, let's say they're at $5 per day to $10 per day. And when you do find out that it's a good product and you want to scale it, that's when you dupe the ad set one time to $25 per day. And as you can see, I've written down a bunch of numbers here, and this is basically the layout that I follow to dupe my ads. So if it's at $5 or $10 per day and it's doing well, I dupe it one time to $25 per day. And I let the original one and the new one run as well until the original one stops giving me good stats. But basically, you dupe the ad set once and increase the budget on the duped ad set to $25 per day. You do not touch the original one in this strategy. So what I do is I dupe it to $25 per day and give it about 2 to 3 days and see how that does. And if it still does good, that's when I dupe the $25 per day one to the $50 per day. And again, this time I wait about 1 to 2 days because it's a $50 per day ad set, so it's gonna get me results much faster. And if I find out that this one is doing good as well, that's when I immediately bump it to up to 2 times to $100 per day. And this time I make 2 to 3 or about 4 dupes of the ad themselves. So I don't make a dupe of the ad set, but I make a dupe of the ads within that ad set. And this, what Facebook does is it feeds this ad, these duplicated ads, to different audiences in that specific ad set. So they would not be overlapping each other, so you don't have to worry about that. And what I do is I let around 1 day go, and then I stop the 3 or how many ever ads that I created, and I only let one good one run. And after this, if it still continues to do good, that's when I dupe it to 300 and repeat the dupes 2 to 4 times again. And then if that does good, then again 500, and then it's $1,000 per day at manual bidding. So this is a pretty general and straightforward strategy I use. If one says at starting point $5 or $10 per day, dupe it to 25, then 50, then 100, and then after 100 you need to start duping the ads within that ad set. And this is basically the strategy that I use to dupe my ads and turn my winning product from doing around 10, 20, 30 orders per day to over 100 orders per day. And my second point in this is don't adjust the budgets of the ad sets, dupe instead. Many people out there recommend that you should change the budgets on the original ad set or play around with the original ad set, but I highly recommend that you do not do that, because once you play around with that specific ad set, Facebook takes another 2 to 3 days to get used to the new editing that you just did. And this basically ruins that ad. So you definitely want to keep on duping the ads instead of trying to play around with the original. And once you find a winning ad set, you'll have a lot of data. So what you want to do is create lookalike audience, also known as LLAs. These are exactly the ones that I use to scale from around $1,000 per day to over $6,000 per day. And I can't tell you how important LLAs are once you start getting good data. So once you have around 50 view content or 50 add to cart or 50 purchase, whatever, you want to immediately start creating LLAs and put out ad sets for those. Those are very important in this. Now my second strategy for scaling is horizontal scaling. And in horizontal scaling, instead of scaling upwards like vertically, we scale side to side. And what this means is basically creating 5 to 10 dupes of the original ad set. So let's say you have a winning ad set that you couldn't scale vertically. You try to scale it from $5 or $10 per day to $25 and it just didn't give good data. So in that case, what you want to do is create 5 to 10 duplicates of the original ad set. So if you have a $5 per day ad set running or $10 per day ad set running, you want to create 5 to 10 duplicates of that ad set and start doing 30-cent increments each. So for example, let's say you have one winning ad set running at $5 per day and you want to use the horizontal scaling strategy. What you would do is basically dupe this one 5 to 10 times and start the first duplicated ad set at $7. So it's just incrementing by $2 the first ad set that you duplicated. So dupe 1 would be $7 and then dupe 2 you would make it $7.30. Dupe 3 $7.60. Dupe 4 $7.90, etc. So it's basically incrementing by 30 cents each time. And this is exactly the strategy that I use for horizontal scaling when I find out that my product is unable to be scaled vertically. Just duplicate the original winning ad set 5 to 10 times and start the ad sets at $7 and then each consecutive ad set you want to add 30 cents to it. And let's say you're starting the original ad set at $10 per day and it proves to be a winner. You basically follow the same exact procedure. Duplicate it 5 to 10 times and then start the first dupe at $12 and then increment by 30 cents each time. So as you can see, dupe 2 $12.30, dupe 3 $12.60, and dupe 4 $12.90. What you basically want to do is monitor them for one day and shut off all those that are not profitable. So we're not going to be running all 10 of them. We only want 1 to 2 ads that are the most profitable, and you want to close down the other ones. And again, refer to my last video on ad metrics to learn what I mean by profitable. But this is the exact layout for horizontal scaling when vertical scaling does not work. Again, just dupe the winning ad set 5 to 10 times and start the budget either at $7 or $12. Now these are just very broad numbers. You could start it at $8 or $9 or $12 even if you want that. But what I have found most success with is starting at $7 and then incrementing by 30 cents. You could try different increments, like you could increment by 20 cents or 50 cents, whatever. Again, the game of e-commerce is just testing around with everything that you can. You have to test products, you have to test scaling strategies, and you have to test the budgets. So again, use this to your own advantage and find out what works for you and what doesn't. Because as I have mentioned previously, something that works for me may not work for you. Now my third and final strategy is product scaling. Now this is a very simple strategy and this is something that you probably have been doing already if you haven't. So instead of having one winner, what's a better thing? It's to have 3 or 4 or even more than that. And this kind of scaling is basically just finding out more winning products and then having all of them making you tons of sales. So you don't have to rely on horizontal or vertical scaling, but you could rely on this product scaling, which is just finding more winners so that you can have more revenue coming in. And this is achieved by simply testing new products alongside the current one with LLAs. As I have mentioned in my previous videos, my biggest mistake was not testing products when I had found my first winner. And that cost me big time because after that product died, I was having a very hard time getting any revenue at all because I had not tested it for any other products. So when one product starts to sell really well, you might want to find other products in the same niche or category as the winner and use the LLAs from the first one for this new item that you're testing. And you want to test all different LLAs that you can if the products are in the similar niche. Basically never stop testing because the moment you stop testing, the sales will drop and you might miss out on potential winning products. So again, keep on testing and keep on trying to find more products. So these were 3 basic strategies that I used. Again, if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments down below and I'll try my best to answer them as soon as I can. But definitely try out all 3 strategies, see what works, see what doesn't, and adapt to the changes.